Now we're gonna slice some bell peppers, some green bell peppers. Also gonna slice up some red bell pepper. Okay, these are already washed, so I'm just gonna take the top and the bottom part off and peel this part off so it can still use this. Cut it in half this long, so I'm just gonna go in the inside so I can get all the seeds out of there, like this. I'll just use some of these and keep the others for another day. Just have it ready. These in the refrigerator for another day. I'm just going to slice these up. If you cut it at an angle, it just makes everything look longer. And be careful, use a sharp knife, otherwise you're going to be cutting your fingers off. You can use a dull knife, and make sure your cutting board isn't moving around. I put a damp paper towel underneath. It has to be damp. So you just put your cutting board on top. Make sure nothing else is underneath it and it won't move around. You can use your plastic cutting board, doesn't matter, whatever type. And you want to face it the dull side up so it's not moving around. Otherwise, when you do it like this, you hear that sound, it's going to take a while to cut it. Did you also see the squash? Other than yellows? Not yellow squash. I'm going to show you the squash. It's like a Asian, Chinese type squash. It's the type of squash you can find in the Asian fish market or Asian market. I'm not talking about South Asia. I'm talking about like Asia, like in China, Chinese fish market. Well, thank you. All right, I'm gonna show you the squash now, since I'm done with everything else. Oops. Okay. This is the squash. This is half the size. I gave the other size to my mom. I cut it in half and I gave it to her today. And my neighbor just gave me this yesterday. So I'm going to rinse this off first. I'm going to take the skin off. So I'm going to cut both ends. Well, this side is already cut. Then I'm going to cut it even smaller so it's easier to peel with my knife. You can't use a peeler to peel the skin off. You got to use a knife. Hey, Kenza. Just been busy. I'm just gonna slice it like this. Let's cut in half so you can see what the inside. It's like a cucumber, like a regular squash. I guess you could say, no, it's not a big cube. You can't eat this raw. You have to cook it. Some stuff, it just doesn't taste right when you do it the other way. So just gonna take the seeds off. It just comes off like this. See, that's all the seeds. There's nothing left right there. Let's do the other one. You want to take all the skin off. You don't want to leave. It's like a watermelon. It's like you're cutting a watermelon. You don't want to leave any of the green part in there. So just keep peeling. Be careful. This is what the inside looks like. Nah, you don't want to do that either. It's not like a cucumber or anything like that. I think I'll just eat the inside part. I mean, you can do what you want to do with the skin, but I'm not eating the skin. It's kind of hard. All right, so now we're ready to cut these. Let me turn my pan on. How do you season the squash? I'm gonna make a curry, so you'll see the seasoning in a few seconds. Let me cube these up. So you cut it into strips, then you cut it the other way, and then you got your cubes. It doesn't take that long to cook. Yeah, prepping is the longest time. these are ready. This is half of the squash. So now we're going to get ready to saute everything. So let's flip it over here. Oh, if anybody have any questions, let me know. Make chicken curry. Love curry. Yeah, I love chicken curry. That's like what I like to make once a week, probably. So here's my pot. It's hot, so I'm going to add some olive oil to this. Let me rinse my hand off. Right, so let's add some olive oil to this. You can use vegetable oil, doesn't matter. I'm using olive oil. You can use vegetable oil, peanut oil, whatever oil you want to use. But I have these right here, extra virgin olive oil. All right, let's see if the oil is hot. It's sizzling. As soon as I put my wooden spoon in here, start sizzling, that's when you know the oil is hot. So I'm going to add my chopped garlic first. Going to get it a little bit brown. I'm going to add the sliced onion. And the bell peppers. Sesame oil, I have not used sesame oil. I don't know what it tastes like. I'm just going to let this cook down a little bit. Then I'll add the squash in here and all the seasoning and the spices. Going to clean up a little bit, throw all my junk away. Enhance the flavor. All right, I'm going to look for it at the store. Few more minutes and then we'll add the squash to this. In this pot, I'm just going to warm up my red spinach that my sister-in-law gave. Hey Deborah, I think it's Deborah, Deb. I'm making some shrimp and squash curry, and the squash came from my neighbor's garden. The squash kind of looks like a watermelon. It's that big, but it's a squash, so you can't eat it raw. I wouldn't want to eat it raw. I have to cook it down. But I'm sure she makes it like into a soup or something. Okay, so this is brown. So I'm going to add the squash to this. Yes, I'm from Bangladesh. Are you eating this late, or is it this dinner for tomorrow? Yeah, I'm kind of eating this late because I got stuck doing something else earlier. Okay, so this is the squash. Add that in there. Okay, I'm going to season it. So let me season it with some pink salt. This is pink salt, it's not that salty. Some ground black pepper. And Creole seasoning. This is Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. Some Badia Sazon seasoning. Let me start on this before I finish that. So now we're going to add some curry powder, about a teaspoon. A teaspoon of paprika. And half a teaspoon of cayenne, or you can put a teaspoon if you like it really spicy. I'm just going to put like maybe this much. Now it's going to move this around. Bring this to a boil, let it simmer, then we'll add the shrimp to it. This is red spinach. My sister-in-law had made it yesterday, and I went over there today and she gave me some. So I'm just reheating it. You know, combine with the chicken.
آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته.
Hey Joe, you can make the curry just like I'm making this right now. You just put chicken in it instead of all the squash and other stuff. You start by sauteing your onion and garlic. You can add bell pepper if you want, but I don't when I make chicken curry. And you add your onion, the garlic, you saute that. Then you add your chicken and all your seasoning and spices. And then just let it simmer. Don't add no water or anything to it because the chicken from the water will just come out and make your natural broth. And at the end, if you want to add more water to it, you can, like maybe a cup. And right here is some red spinach. I don't know if they have it at the American stores, but my neighbor, I have another neighbor. Let me turn this down while I'm telling you the story. So my Chinese neighbor gave me the squash right here. She lives to the right of me. Then I have a neighbor from Bangladesh, that's where I'm from, and she gave me some red spinach. It's called lal shag in Bangla, but if you want to translate to English, it's called red spinach. And it tastes good too, just like regular spinach. But my neighbor in the front has a garden, my neighbor to the side has a garden. I don't have a garden because I don't want to see those things crawling everywhere. So if they want to give me their stuff, I said thank you, you know. And sometimes I give it, you know, when I cook it, I'll give it back to them, let them taste it. But you guys can look over here. Yes, ma'am. Great healthy eating. And I get my chicken from the halal meat market, not from the regular store either. Because they don't know what's in there. They plump it up and everything. And the fish come from the fish market. Everything around here, we have like all kind of stores around this area. This area that I live in is called the International District, so you can find anything in this area. I'm good where I'm at. I'm not trying to move or anything. And let's see if I need to add the shrimp in here. My favorite fish is pompano nowadays. It's been in the beginning it was like tilapia. Then when I got pompano, I was hooked on that a few years ago. And that's like the only fish that I want to get from the stores. All right, I'm gonna add the shrimp to it now. These are some jumbo shrimp right here. I'm gonna add some of the shells in there too, just for flavor. Then I'll take it out before we eat it. See that shell? That's just gonna give it a nice flavor. We'll just let it cook for about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, see if it's done. Taste this. Is it done? That's some filet of soul fish is good too. Yeah. Pompano is not flaky, but it's really good. It's a fish from the Florida coast, I guess you could say that. So this is ready. So that's ready. This is all the skin from the squash. I'm about to throw it away. So. Yeah, I love salmon. Salmon, pompano, red snapper, redfish. Those are all good. So this is doing its thing in here. I'm gonna give it a few more, about 7 more minutes probably. I'm gonna chop up some cilantro to put in there too. This is just chopped cilantro. Oh, it's smelling pretty good in here right now. Look at that shrimp. Ooh-wee. Just the heat a little bit. Let it do its thing. All right, so I'm gonna tell you guys how I made it again. Let me get a cup of water first. All right, guys, so I'm going to tell you how I made, well, so far how I made this. Let me smell it first. It smells good. Whew, it's hot too. Okay, so I started by sauteing some onion, some garlic, and some bell peppers. Then I added the squash in there and all the seasoning and spices. Seasonings were some ground salt and pepper. Ground black pepper. Regular Creole seasoning. The Badia Sazon tropical seasoning. Some curry powder. Paprika. And some cayenne. So that's all the stuff that went into this curry. When I make chicken curry, I do a little bit something different. I don't add any bell peppers sometimes, and I put cinnamon sticks in there and bay leaves and all that stuff. That's how we started. And you guys can look at this again. Oh, let me answer all the questions. Sorry, guys. Let me see if anybody had any questions at the top. All right. Okay, somebody asked if I'm from Bangladesh. I was like, yes, I'm from there, but I've been here for a long time. So we make all kind of dishes in this house. Right? My husband, he also cooks. Yeah, we both cook in this house. Huh? Some more than others, but that's okay. We cook, the kids clean up. The kids are grown. They're all grown men, but they still clean up after we finish eating. That's right. Right, Kareem? Yep. And he's trying to learn how to cook, too. Right, guys. Yeah, I can look at this pot. Not him trying to get that snack up there. He's gone. They say hello too. Thank you, sweet potato. The sweet potato? That's cute. All right, it's almost done. Get my plates. All right, guys, let's see. spoon. See if it's ready. Make sure this is cooked. I'm sure it's cooked. I just want to, yeah, it's done. So you turn this off. And you're ready to serve this. I'll let you guys look at it. Hold on, what you say about the angle? On an angle now with the peppers. That's funny. Thank you, sweet potato. Yeah, cut it at an angle and everything just looks like it's longer and it makes it look like you have more of it. But when you just cut it down like this, it just looks like whatever, you know. But if you want to make it look fancy, you know, you can just, hey, Sativa Divine. We made some shrimp and squash curry. It's already done. We're about to plate it up. It's right here. It has shrimp, it has squash, bell peppers, onion, a whole bunch of seasoning and spices. We use some pink salt and some ground black pepper. I sauteed in some olive oil. We use some Creole seasoning, some Badia Sazon, some paprika, some curry powder, and some cayenne. And that's what it looks like at the end. Thank you, sweet potato and Joe. All right, guys, let's plate it up. I made some jasmine rice in my rice cooker. I used, I'm not really familiar with cilantro. Cilantro is just, I mean, it's just a herb, I guess. I mean, I like it better than parsley and, like, yeah, definitely not mint. You can't, you'll mess up your dishes putting mint in there. Mint is probably good for like when you make some kind of dessert or something. All right, let me make my plate. So here's some jasmine rice. Yeah, mint for tea or some, yeah, something. But if you put mint or what's another thing, like rosemary, put too much on something, it's gonna mess it up. Some stuff you can't put too much in, but cilantro you can. So let's just put on top some of the squash, some more shrimp, some of the gravy, more like a broth. It was a squash that my neighbor gave. It's something I think from China, but she's Chinese and she has a lot of Chinese squash and other stuff growing in her backyard, and she always gives it to us, and we love it for it. You know, we love her for that. Okay, and my sister-in-law gave me some red spinach. I just rewarmed it up with some onion and bell pepper in it. So this is it. Too much water in what? In here? This water came from the squash. You know, squash has a lot of water in there too, but that's okay. There's a lot of flavor in that water. Yeah, red spinach, I don't think you'll find it everywhere. It's called lal shag. You can probably find it in the Indian stores or Bangladeshi stores, but not in the American stores, anything like that. Guys, I'm going to see it again. Here it is. Somebody said too much water. No, this is just the right amount of water in here. That's called gravy, you know, like a light gravy. You don't want it to be dry. And I left the shells in here also, just for flavor. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel that I have. I have more videos in there. There you go. Alright guys. This is what we had, and this is what we made. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good night. I'll see you guys next time. Alright guys, bye.